Hello, it's Brigit here. I am one of the Pilates instructors at Silverfit, and today's session is going to be themed around healthy joints. Okay, so to start off with, we're going to come onto our hands and knees for a cat-cow stretch. So here we are, and we have got our wrists underneath our shoulders and our knees underneath our hips. And you want to have your legs in line as well, your lower legs, so try not to sort of waft the legs around and keep them anchored onto the floor. And as we exhale, you're going to draw the abdominals in, so scoop those abdominals in and arch the upper back, and you're looking towards your navel. And then as you inhale, just think about tipping your tailbone up a little bit, so a little bit of a tilt up, and then you're just rippling the spine sequentially, starting at that tailbone. This is our inhale, and as you exhale, tilt the tailbone under and just feel the rest of the spine follow through. And this is our exhale, tipping the tailbone up and the rest of the vertebra follow through one at a time. So just kind of do it slowly and get a really good feel for it. Shoulder blades come back and down, try not to collapse in your lower back, and then exhale. And we're here. Now holding this shape, we're just going to reverse our backside towards our heels, come onto your fingertips, lovely stretch there, and then as you exhale, come back onto your hands and knees, and we're just going to come into that tabletop position. So tucking our toes under, and you're going to jack your hips up into a downward facing dog. So here we are, downward dog. Now be careful of what's happening around the wrists and the shoulders here. So we don't want to be all kind of stressed out in the shoulders, and we don't want to have a sort of sharp angle here. So you can soften your knees, get your hips high, and then watch your shoulders aren't caving in. So broad shoulders, wobble and blobble the head around, and just start to pedal through your feet. You don't have to get the heels onto the floor, so you're just thinking you want to have a sort of mild tension in the stretch, nothing too drastic. Remembering to breathe. This is a really nice stretch for our spine and also the back of the legs, but we don't want to overstretch. Okay, and then we'll hold it here and we'll gently bring the knees back towards the floor. And then we're going to step the right leg forwards in a lunge position. Okay, so we're in this lunge. The hands go on the inside of the legs, so it's not like that, the hands on the insides of the legs. And we're just going to do some circles through the hips, 3 in one direction, 3 in the other. If you want to work a little bit harder, you can lift your top knee off the floor. And then we're just going to bring that leg back, and then we're going to swap it over, other leg. And 3 circles, and then 3 the other way, and then we're back onto our hands and knees, and we'll sit back, child's pose, and then floating back onto your hands and knees again. Okay, so we're coming back into that lunge again, but we'll come from a downward facing dog. So we're in the down dog. If you can't do this, if you prefer just to do it the first way, then that's fine. From down dog though, if you want to come with, we're going to lift the right leg up, and then we're going to bring it here. Okay, so we've got the foot on the outside of the hand again. Option to put your knee on the floor or to lift it off, and then we're going to open out into a twist. Okay, so we've got this nice twist. Try not to throw your arm back like that. Fingertips are going up, and then place your hand back, and you can step back into a downward facing dog, and then the left leg comes up, and then it comes down by the left hand. Okay, and you can keep your knee off the floor, or if you prefer, have your knee on the floor. Okay, just be careful of your knee, and if it is a bit delicate, pop it on some padding. Okay, and then we go for our twist, and then we place the hand back on the floor, and then we're just going to step back into a downward facing dog again, and then we're going to step the feet in a little bit. And so we're in a shorter plank. The tailbone is now tipping under, it's sort of tilting under rather than sticking up. And then just get grounded through your feet, draw your abdominals in and just feel that you can float your hands back towards your feet. And we're just going to cradle the opposite elbow and have a sway from side to side. You can take a few nice breaths here. And then we're going to roll up gently, vertebra by vertebra. So press your feet down, engage your core abdominals and just start to roll up. You can walk your hands up your thighs. And then when you get to the top, because we've done this flexion, we're going to put in an extension. So you can either interlace your hands behind you or just zap into your fingertips. And we're stretching out our chest, we're squeezing the shoulders together and then release. And you can just swoosh the arms around, shake yourself out. Okay, so the feet are now coming to hip width apart. And actually we'll just heel toe them a little bit wider than hip width apart. And we're going to reach up with the arms and we're going to do some big swooshy circles. So we're going to do 3. And if you find that this isn't good for your back, make the circles smaller. 2, otherwise you can really go for it with the circles. And 1. We'll change direction. We want a good firm footing here. For 3, 2, and 1. Okay, and then just swirl and whirl your arms down, give yourself a shake. Okay, and we've got our hands on our hips and we're going to do some hip swivels. So we're like this. Okay, I'm going to go sideways and you want to kind of go from this scoop. So you're kind of tucking your tail under and then you're sticking it out. So you're going from a sort of spinal flexion to spinal extension as you're circling, and we're going to go round the other way. Keep the knees nice and soft, otherwise you feel it sort of plunking into your knees. Okay, and here we are. Good. So now we're going to have the feet together. Okay, so the feet and the knees are together and we're just going to slide the hands down towards the knees and try to not kind of be looking at the floor. So you want to have, if you have a name badge here, it's kind of going, shining forwards, and we're just going to circle the knees. You might hear some crunchy noises. We change direction. Keep your core engaged and then rolling up. And keep your heels together now, but we're going to fan the toes out. Okay, so we've got what's known as the Pilates V Stance. Place your hands on your shoulders, get your elbows touching or as close to as you can, and then we're just going to opening out that chest. Now you can start to add in a little ripple. So you feel that the arm is kind of giving the body a little bit of rhythm here. Okay, and then hold it still and then we're going to change direction. So we start off with a straight line through the body and then you can add in this ripple. I'm going to go sideways. I have to concentrate a little bit for that. There we go, a little ripple. Okay, and then just release the arms and then shrug and release the shoulders. Let's do that again, feels good. Shrug and release, shrug and release. Good, and shake it out. So we're going to do some balance. I'll stand face on and then I'll change angle so you can see from all angles. So you're going to stand on your left foot and you're just going to come onto the tippy toe of your right foot. Okay, now we want to avoid kind of swaying over or losing balance. You want to keep a straight line through your body and try and minimise that deviation. So we're on the tippy toe. Now if you can, just lift that foot, okay? If not, just keep your foot on the floor. And then you're going to open and then close. So we're opening the gate and then closing. And I'll go from a different angle. Open, close. And as you're opening, your hips are facing forwards, your tail is dropping down. You can do it with your foot off the floor. Okay, and then we'll do one more on that side. Open the gate, close the gate, and release. Shake it out. We'll do the other side. Great for our hip health, okay, and also for balance, of course. So we're here. Either keep your foot on the floor or lift it off. You can lift it off and hold onto a chair or a wall, okay, that's another thing that you can do. Then we're opening the gate. Watch that this isn't happening, okay, you don't want the leg kind of sucking you around. You're opening whilst keeping everything else stable. And as you open that leg, opening the gate, you're feeling these muscles here, the obliques. Okay, and we'll do one more. Glutes really working. Okay, and release. So it's very strong for the glutes and for the oblique muscles and the deep core abdominals. So a lot of stuff getting a workout there, of course, for our balance. Okay, so we're going to stand at the back of the mat and you're going to reach up and you're going to take a big dive up and over. And then you're going to walk your hands and then gently put your knees on the floor. And then we're sitting back towards our heels for a stretch. And then just spread your hands nice and wide. So they can be as wide as the mat or maybe even off the mat a little. And then you're going to pick up your left hand and you're placing it on top of your right. And from here, we'll take a few deep breaths. And think about, you can keep your head down, but think about breathing in to the left lung and really fanning out the left side of the rib cage. Put your left hand back and we pick up the right and place it on top of the left. So you're breathing really into the right lung now, fanning out the right side of your rib cage. Inhaling through your nose and then exhaling like you're blowing out a candle. And we'll do one more. And then we're going to change position. Now, before we do that, you get quite a lot of information from your breathing. So if it was nice and smooth, then well done. If it's a little bit choppy, you know, it's quite, you get the feedback. So, you know, we're after the long, smooth breathing, you know, ideally. But if it's choppy, it's just the clue there that, you know, you might want to maybe do some more breathing to calm the system down. Okay, so we're going to cross our ankles and we're just going to roll over. Okay, if that doesn't suit you, we all meet in this position and we're taking a little shimmy down to the front of the mat. You're going to reach your arms up and then we're going to take a big dive up and over. And as you do this with the arms, hopefully you're feeling that the abdominals are switching on, they're responding, your tailbone is tucking under, we're initiating our roll down, okay, and we're rolling down. You can use your thighs for support. If your back doesn't like this, roll over onto your side and then meet us in this position, okay? And I will just demonstrate that. So this is for people with bad backs. You just come onto your side and then you lie on your back, okay? So there's no load on the back here. So from here, we're going to do some leg circles. And again, this is really nice for our hip joint, hip health. Synovial fluid, it kind of oils the joints. So we've got our right leg is straight and you can have your left leg, it can be bent or you can have it straight, it just depends how hard you want to work. We've got more of a job if we keep this straight, okay? So we're going to do 5 circles. Now, you can place your hands in your underneath your pelvis if you need a little bit more support. That's 2, 3, 4, and 5. And we're going to change direction. Keep your neck nice and long for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, shake out that leg. And we'll swap it over. Now I'm going to do this one with a straight leg just so you can see. So if you've got the still leg is straight, it needs to stay energized and you want to feel like you're pressing into your heel and with your toes sticking up. So you don't want your toes kind of wiggling from side to side. This leg is still, okay? And then you're going to circle the other leg. That's my hip flexor popping there, if you heard that noise. For 2, 3, you might find you've got poppy hip flexors. 4 and 5, and then the other way for 5 doesn't click in this direction. For 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, and then shake it out. So hearing sort of clicks and pops in the body isn't necessarily a good thing or a bad thing. Sometimes there's just a little bit of tightness. If it's accompanied by pain, then that is a red flag. Okay, so if it's just like a bit, you feel a tight spot and then it's you work around it, then that should be fine. If anything feels unpleasant, you might want to, like with the hip flexor and feeling it pop, you might want to kind of shorten your lever. So instead of working with a long leg, you can try just bending the leg to make it shorter in effect. And with a shorter lever, there's a lower load, and when there's a lower load, there's less intensity. So that might work. So just experiment. Okay, so we're going to tuck our knees into our chest and we're going to have a rock from side to side. This is nice to massage out the spine. Now, when you're doing things like this, be careful. I'm just doing a dodgy thing with my neck here. So if you can see the wall behind you, just straighten out your neck. And then we're going to place our feet on the floor. And we're going to do some bridges, some glute bridges. So traditionally, we would have our hips and our knees and our feet in line. You might find, if you find that a little bit restrictive, you might want to have your feet a bit wider than hip width apart, okay? So again, you can experiment. But if your feet are wide, try not to knock your knees together. So we don't want this sort of X shape. So we want the knees to be tracking. And then you can imagine you've got a big balloon in between your thighs, so you're creating some energy. We're not collapsing, we're creating a nice bit of energy here. We can feel the muscles start to work. And then we are going to just tuck our tailbone under and just start to peel off the floor, vertebra by vertebra by vertebra. Really nice for our spine. And we get to the point here where our bum muscles are working, but they're not clenching, but they're just working. Okay, and we can feel the inner thighs working, and we've got this energy, this vacuum, and then we're going to roll back down again. And then we're going to do it again. Inhale to prepare, exhale as you just start to lengthen your spine, peeling off the tailbone, feeling that zipped up sort of feeling. Maybe press a little into your feet. And now we're here. Watch your ribs. I'm just going to do a thing with my ribs that we shouldn't be doing, where your ribs are popping out. So if you find that your rib cage is popping out, just weave it back in. So we're in a sort of a muscle sandwich here. And then we're going to hold it. We're going to do a little hula hoop action. So this is like if you have a clock face on your belly and you're just rolling a marble around the periphery of the clock face. And then change direction. And then we're holding it still. If you can, float your arms over your head. Something in the way. And then come up onto the balls of your feet and keep your arms there and your feet there and just roll back down. Vertebra by vertebra. And then tuck one knee and then the other knee in. And then we're going to roll over and we're going to meet on our fronts. So we're lying in the prone position, okay? This is called the prone position when we're lying on our fronts. And we've got our forearms in line with the mat. So what a lot of us do is we sort of cave in a little bit at the shoulders. So if you've landed with your shoulders up by your ears and your hands are close together and your elbows are splayed apart, then we sort it out from the shoulders. So really get those shoulders nice and broad. Your clavicles here are nice and broad and the forearms are on the floor. And we're going to draw the abdominals in and we're pressing the tops of our feet on the floor. And then you just start to, imagine you have a marble sort of underneath your nose and you're rolling that marble forwards and then you just start to sweep off. So we're hovering the upper body. Keep those abdominals engaged. If you're feeling any pain in your lower back, you need to kind of sort it out. So either lower down a little bit, draw the abdominals in a little bit more, or just come back down to the floor and just kind of focus on the length. Okay, and we're going to return to the floor. So inhale to prepare. As you exhale, rolling that marble forwards, engaging your core abdominals, engaging your pelvic floor. Can you go higher? Can you go higher without losing form or without kind of putting any stress on your lower back? If you're good here, maybe you hover the arms. And if you're good here, maybe you reach forwards and take a big sweeping action and you reach behind you. And if you're good here, you might want to catch your ankle, maybe catch your other ankle. Okay, but be careful and listen to your body. And then release. And then we're going to sit back into child's pose. And then we're going to float forwards onto our hands and knees. So it's listening to your body is so important. You know, you don't want to overdo it, but you don't want to underdo it either. So, you know, we can surprise ourselves. So from here, we're just going to lengthen the right leg and you're just plugging the ball of the foot onto the floor. And we're going to, it's like we're signalling left. We're on a bicycle, we're signalling left. And so your arm is going to the left and replace your actual arm with a sort of fake arm, and it stops us from collapsing down. So you reach and then we're going to scoop through, and then as we inhale we're opening out. We've got a nice twist here. We'll do one more like that. Exhale as you scoop through, inhale as you open out, and then place the hand back down on the floor. And just for good measure we're just going to hover forwards and backwards a couple of times. Calf stretch. Okay, and then we'll bring that leg back and then we extend the other leg. So it's like we're on a bike and we're indicating right, and we replace our physical arm with a sort of a phantom arm. Okay, and this kind of helps keep us in position. And then we're going to scoop through, thread the needle, and then open out. And now we'll just keep going for that twist, and then scoop through, thread the needle. This is our exhale, and this is our inhale, whoosh, opening out. And then place your hand on the floor, and then we just hover forwards and backwards for a calf stretch. Okay, and then we're going to come into a sitting position, and I'll face the camera here. So we are sitting. Now I am going to use a block because I can get a better posture when I raise my seat, okay? And so do many of us, okay? So I see a lot of people kind of determinedly sitting on the floor like this, you know. So for a lot of us, either raise your seat or you can bend your knees, okay? Because what we want here is a nice long spine. We want to be able to kind of build a nice long spine. And from this position, I might just move forwards a bit. Okay, so from this position, we're going to sweep our hand towards the opposite foot, and then we're going to take a big burst open. And then we're going to go to the other side. Now, as you're sweeping your hand towards your opposite foot, you're drawing those abdominals in and take a big burst open. Exhale as you reach, inhale, opening up the chest. Now, depending on your neck and your mobility, maybe the gaze follows the hand, or maybe not, okay? So just kind of assess, see how everything's feeling. We're going to do one more. Lovely, that felt really nice. Okay, and then you're going to place your fingertips behind you, and we're just going to lengthen the front spine. You're slightly squeezing your shoulder blades together, and then release. Lovely. And we'll just circle the wrists and circle the ankles. Nice for our wrists and ankle joints. Changing direction. Good. Okay, and then we're going to come into the mermaid position. Get rid of that. Okay, so you can just mirror me. And then you place your hand on the floor, and we're going to reach up, and then we're going to reach over. Okay, now this might be as far as you go, or you might want to lift off, and you're looking at the floor as you circle the arm round. And then we do again, reaching up and over. Okay, and and we're going to change over. So if you want to do this transition with me, okay, we're going to see if we can go hands free. So you're reaching up and the arms are in a kind of a V shape. And you want to feel like your arms are coming from your mid-back rather than from your shoulders, okay? So we kind of access those muscles in the middle of the back, and then we're going to lean back and take that little transition. Lovely. Okay, and then your other hand is here, and then we're going to inhale, and as you exhale, you either lift off or you don't lift off, up to you, reaching, and then nice circling action. So we've got some nice mobility going through the shoulders on one side, and we've got the strength on the other side. Okay, nice. We're just going to lean back, we'll release the legs, and we're going to do a spine stretch. So again, I'm going to get my block back into play. So you can have straight legs, okay, or you can have bent legs. So what we don't want is straight legs and a spine like this. We don't want to start off with a kind of a hunch. Okay, we want to have a nice tall spine. And we're going to press into our heels and we're going to bring our arms so our arms are nice and engaged here. And as you exhale, you're going to reach forwards and flex your feet and suck your belly back. Spine stretch. And then inhale as you sit up. We're going to rotate towards the right foot. And then we're going to do the same thing, but with this angle. So flex your feet, reaching forwards, drawing those abdominals back. And then inhale, come back to center. Exhale, go to the other side. Flex the feet as you're reaching forwards, drawing those abdominals back. And then inhale as you come back to center. Shake everything out. We're going to do one more. We're going to reach up. And this time we're going to stay straight until the sort of where your bra strap or heart rate strap is. So we're going to bring the stretch to the top portion of the spine. So inhale and as you exhale, reaching over. And then nice and tall. And then just swirl and whirl your arms back. Shake yourself out. And we are in our sitting position again. Now, if you want to, cross legs is fine here. And if cross legs is uncomfortable, just find something else, okay? Because we're just going to be sitting for a minute or so. Now, if you do like cross legs, why not mix it up and just kind of go for the slightly unusual configuration, okay? And we're going to have our hands on our knees, and as we inhale, we're just pulling ourselves through, and as we exhale, we're scooping those abs. Inhale, lengthening your front spine. Exhale, nice deep C curve in the back. It's a sitting cat-cow. And now we're going to add in a few swirls. Inhale as you reach through, exhale as you curve. So it's that C curve in the spine. And then we're going to change direction. This is your exhale, this is your inhale. And we get a nice little workout for the shoulders as well, okay, and we're nice and tall. So we want to sit up nice and tall. And if you think about having your tailbone kind of on the mat or on the block, and it's dropping down, and you want the spine to be really long, okay, so we're not kind of slouching or crumpling, we've got opposition. So your tailbone is kind of rooting and the rest of your spine is rising, okay, so really nice and strong here. And then we're going to just tuck our chin into our chest and scrape your chin towards your right shoulder, and we're circling. If this is too strong or it's hurting your neck, then just roll the head very gently from side to side. If you are circling, we're changing direction. And again, you're probably aware of some strange noises going on. There's a lot of joints in the neck, which is why you hear those, all that kind of scrunchy noises. Okay, and then we'll just come back and we're going to shrug and release the shoulders. So anything to do with your neck, you want to be very gentle, okay, really gentle with the neck. So you're going to bring your right ear towards your right shoulder, and as you do that, watch that the other shoulder isn't popping, okay, so it's ear towards shoulder, not ear touches shoulder, okay, and we don't want the shoulders popping up. You can, if you want to, just very, very lightly place your hand here, super light. Pivot your head very gently. Pivot your head very gently towards the ceiling. You're looking at the front, hand on cheekbone, put your head back on top, and then other ear to other shoulder. Maybe you have that little assist. Pivot your head to look down towards your armpit. Pivot your head to look up towards the ceiling. Very gently forwards, hand on cheekbone, put your head back on top. And then we're going to spread our wings, present your chest forwards, put your hands together and give yourselves a clap. Lovely, thank you everybody. So it's just a quick journey through the joints there. Okay, so hopefully you enjoyed that and I will see you soon.